When will enough be enough? Like, it's a question that I've been asking myself more and more recently, and as I get older, it's a question that will probably never get answered, or it will get answered, and the answer is nothing will ever be enough. Like, this equates to so many different things in life, but for me, and something that I obviously relate myself to a lot, is content. And one thing with content is you always want that next big milestone, that next big subscriber goal, or the more views, or whatever it might be. But a realization that I've had a few times recently is, when will it be enough? Like, the other night, me and Zigzag were on a call, and it was just after we'd finished recording, and I think Bueno was there as well. And it was sort of a question of, we were looking at some people's channels. I'm not going to name who they are, but it was in our similar niche, and we were looking at their views and their subscribers and how they've come up. And it's just like, you look at people and you're like, how have they done that? Like, how have they got to that point? That's insane. Or how are they getting that many consistent views, or whatever? But then I actually looked at my own channel and I was like, not in an egotistical way, but I have to back myself. Like, I was consistently getting 40,000 views on my last, like, 5 videos that I've done on the whole MXZ show concept. And it was like this realization of, like, when will enough be enough? Because the people who you probably aspire to and look up to probably are not content with what they have. This whole conversation is about being content with what you've got, because no position that you're ever in will be enough. Like, I look at my views and my subscribers and whatever, and I think, oh, I really want to get up to, 200,000 subscribers, or 500,000, or whatever the goal might be. But there's people who probably look at mine and go, oh my god, I wish I had those subscribers, I wish I had those views, or whatever it might be. So there is never enough. Like, even if you get to those milestones of like 1 million, 10 million or something, like unfathomable amounts of numbers that only a set few people in the world have got, they are probably not, well, they might be content, but they probably think, right, okay, on to the next one. And I think it's a very empty goal to just try and chase numbers. It correlates to a lot of more things than just content. Money, for example. People are always very much, oh, I'll be happy and I'll be good when I get to this a yearly income, or I get the next raise, or I get the next promotion. But as soon as you get that, it just still becomes a thing of like, okay, on to the next goal, on to the next thing. Oh, I've just bought a house, but I can't wait till I can afford to buy a bigger house, or just conversations like that. I've noticed it with like collectors and collections and stuff like that, whereby, I'm a collector of records. I always want more records, and I will never look at that collection and go, okay, I'm finished now. That is a perfect collection, because there will be more albums, there will be more things. This sort of correlates as well to a similar topic, which is, you will never be the greatest at this one thing, or you will never be the biggest at this one thing. And it's actually quite a comforting thought. The first sort of idea of it, it sounds a little bit daunting and a little bit like depressing. You will never be the greatest and the best in whatever category or subject it is. But actually it's quite comforting. Like, I will never have the most money in the world. I will never have the most views or subscribers on YouTube. My collection of books or pop vinyls or records or Lego will never be the biggest collection or the greatest collection in the world. But if you're happy with it, and you should be content with what you've got, then that's enough. Like, we need to stop chasing the next big thing and just be happy with the current time and place and the current situation that we are in this very moment, and just enjoy and embrace what you've got and what you have. Because no goal, like, don't get me wrong, when I buy a new record or I buy a new Lego set, I'm happy, I'm excited, but it also correlates back to like birthdays and stuff. I remember when I was younger, it would be Christmas or it would be my birthday, and I'd get a bunch of presents off my parents, and then after I'd opened them or something, I was talking to my mum and I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get this as well, or oh, I can't, and I distinctly always remember her being like, Stop thinking about like what you're gonna get next. Stop thinking about like what next collection thing you want. Just enjoy the presents that you've just opened and be happy with that. And it's so true. It's like we will never have enough as humans. Like, I honestly don't think one concept that I obsessed with over, and I've never really gone into deep depth with it, but I love the concept of it, is minimalism. And there was a documentary I watched on Netflix where people just have like the minimal necessities. Like, we don't need all these massive wardrobes full of clothes. And don't get me wrong, I'm a hypocrite in saying all this. I'm not trying to say it as a preaching man saying that I am like this, because I'm absolutely not. But these people on this documentary just had like 3 or 4 white t-shirts that they would just wash and reuse until they were, you know, like beyond washing and reusing. They would only have what they needed to get by. They wouldn't, they live in these just like caravans or little lodges where it's just enough space for them. They don't have, you know, collector things. They don't have little knickknacks everywhere. They just have what they need to live, and they are content with it. Because, and don't get me wrong, there is levels to this, because like I think it's nice to have memorabilia, photos, whatever brings you joy in life. It's nice to bring that into your surroundings, but it comes back to this whole thing of you will never have enough. There will never be a point where you in your life are satisfied with the point that you are at. I think you just have to work towards being content with what you've got and being happy with the position that you are in. Because regardless of where you are, like whether you're like, so let's relate this back to content again. Whether you've got 10 subscribers, you've got 1,000, or you've got 1,000,000, like, it's fun to be at whatever position. And I know that is a contrived thing of me saying because of the position that I'm in with my channel, but like the amount of fun that you can have when you have 10 subscribers, because you've got no pressure or you've got no eyes on you. You can make whatever content you want and just put it out there, and no one's gonna critique it, no one's gonna comment it, no one's gonna, not in a harsh way, but no one's gonna care. So the only thing that you have to focus on is what you love and enjoy. And then when you're at 1,000 subscribers, it's like, oh, that's incredible. You have like such a tight-knit little niche community. I think I even remember Wadism saying one of his favorite moments in the whole content thing is like before it blew up on TikTok, because there was such a community and like you could name everybody who was like within your community. And then it gets too big into a point where you physically can't do that, and then you have, you know, the sort of success feel of like you've made it a little bit. And so whichever point you're at, there is joy within any section, and it's just like trying to look at it from that perspective. You will never ever be content with this whole thing. Is like the people setting goals, and like especially in content creation. And this comes, like I say, I relate a lot of things where I talk about to content, but this relates to so much more, like money and fitness. Fitness is a huge one that this relates to, because you will start your gym journey and you will want to lose weight. You'll lose that weight, but then you'll be like, but now I'm not happy, now I look too skinny. So then you'll put some muscle on, and then you'll be like, okay, nice, now I've got like big arms. But there will always be someone in the gym or at another gym who lifts more than you, who is stronger than you, who can do more reps, who can run that extra mile. There will always be someone. So you just need to be happy and content with where you are and the ability that you have. And that's not to say like be content and sit back and don't do anything, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't keep working, but I don't think it's a healthy way to just obsess and work to the next goal and to the next goal, because when you hit goals, you have that little hit of dopamine, but I don't ever think that it stays. I don't ever think, you know, I think it dilutes quite often. You might have a six-pack at the gym and you get that like, oh, I finally got like a defined six-pack. Brilliant, incredible. But then a few weeks down the line, you might look at yourself and go, oh, my shoulders aren't big enough. Like, you will never be satisfied with any situation, because you are human and you always crave more, you always crave to be the best, you have that drive in you, and that is good, but it's also brilliant to just be happy and content with who you are, and where you are, what your situation is currently, and just enjoy it, like, without trying so hard to focus on the next big thing. And it's something that I need to work on as well in myself. I'm not, like I say, I'm not preaching this as someone who is perfection and has got it all on key and locked down. What I'm saying is, this is something that I need to work on. Being content with where I am, what I have, enjoying the moment, and not thinking about how I need to get to the next step, how I want to. There is beauty in looking at things of nothing is permanent, and you will never hit the level. You will never be the perfect level of the absolute definitive best. Because if you are as well, I mean, imagine the pressure that, like, when Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world, the pressure that you must have on yourself is immense, because it's like, in any given moment, someone's going to take that away. Because you will never be the greatest at one thing forever, because the world develops, everything fastens up, and someone will come along who is better. World records are forever getting broken. So you've just got to be happy with what you've got and whatever level you are at, in whatever that might be.